What's up? For those of you who are interested, got a Yamaha f150 powerhead peeled apart. Had a thrust bearing issue. It's actually in fairly decent shape. What happened was load from the lower unit was pushed up into the motor and caused this to gall out. The bearing is toast. The block is pretty good. I think we got enough. There's not enough damage to scrap the block. There's perhaps a little ridge under there, but nothing bad. Anyway, and there's some wear here, but I think that's normal. So we're going to give it a new thrust bearing, like this one, and reassemble it. We wasted the crankshaft. It had some heat damage and some galling from getting down past the Babbitt material on the bearing, and some spalling, but it looked like it was momentary. So whatever it was that happened wasn't for very long, and thank the lords, the outboard lords, it didn't cause a lot more damage. So we're going to move forward with refurbishing this. Anyway, I thought I'd take an interesting look at the oil system on this outboard. The oil pump sits below the power head between the bracket and the power head, right at the sort of the interface of the drive shaft to the crankshaft, which is a splined interface. And it sort of keys in on the crankshaft, and it sits right inside here, basically. And it pushes oil up through this. I believe it's up through that, right? And then it pushes that oil up through the oil filter, and then out through the oil filter, and then over, and then it pushes it up through this tube that runs along this edge here. And this is a cap that leads basically directly into the oil channel, the oil galleries, I guess. And then there's tapped off on each one of these are oil galleries for each bearing on the crankshaft. And then that also fills into the piston bearings because of the sort of the cascade effect. And then as that oil goes up, there's also oil galleries in the head that feed the cam for the cams. And then it drizzles down through, it would appear, into a sump drain. And then it drains over and then back down into the oil pan, which is down inside there. So that's the oil system for the F150 Yamaha. This is a 2013 inline 4 in pretty decent shape. Unfortunate that it had some trauma, but it's actually not in super bad shape for being a saltwater motor in the Pacific Northwest. For those of you freshwater guys, you probably don't see a lot of these crusty buildup. You might get a little bit, but probably not nearly what we get up here in the Pacific Northwest. This is actually pretty good. You'll see water jackets like this just absolutely caked, almost to the point of no passage in some of the older outboards still in service in the fleet around here. So anyway, just thought that was kind of a cool look at the oiler system. Oil pump down here, oil filter here, pushes it out into a long sort of shaft, and then out the oil galleries for each crank bearing, and then into the galleries for the cam bearings. Actually, I don't know if these would be really considered bearings as much as, I guess they would be bearings. But that one's got a, yeah. Anyway, thought you might dig it. Later.